Good morning. It's Monday morning news. France first. There were protests again in France this weekend. It's now 16 weeks of protests, and some of the activists, the French activists, are concerned that this movement is losing momentum. I think maybe it is, unfortunately. We will see. I don't know. But if Macron could do one of his arrogant speeches, maybe, or the French government could introduce some new silly rules or raise some taxes. Apart from France, I think the UK is closest to something similar, because now we are approaching the 29th of March, which is the date when the UK is supposed to leave the EU. And I still have this very disgusting feeling about this. Yeah. So we'll see what's going to happen. If they don't deliver a proper Brexit in the UK, the British citizens will show what they think about it. I'm sure about this. Yeah. Alright, so, and finally I want to tell you about the Green Party in Sweden. They are not doing well at all. In the polls they get less than 4% steadily and will be kicked out of parliament if there is an election. So, but they have new blood. So I want to tell you about these guys. These are the two top names in the Green Youth Party. The names are Manuel Cortes Acero and Hedda Berkesand. Right, and they wrote an article about the shootings in Sweden. This is a big deal in Sweden. A lot of criminal gangs shooting each other mainly, that's the problem. And we have lots of them. And people are aware of it, people talk about it and so on. And they wanted to add to this discussion, so they wrote this article. And first they show some insight, that they want to show us that they understand the problem. So this is what they say. I just read parts of this stupid article. Every death is a tragic mishap that must never be normalized. Every fired shot is a collective failure for the whole of society. And it is not until we collectively decide to roll up our sleeves and dig up the roots of social problems that death shootings can cease. Alright. And then we come to the sort of conclusions. Alright. Generations of politicians have seen unfairness in the suburbs and closed their eyes. Yet, right-wing politicians have the shame of condemning, reprimanding and blaming the suburbs. The error is theirs. They must change. Ordinary Swedes or politicians carry no guilt, but they have to cross cultural thresholds and integrate, and so on and so on. Alright, and then we come to the final conclusion, the real answer to why we have a problem with shootings in Sweden. And here it is. The beginning and end of the problem lies in the Swedes' national chauvinism. Yeah, chauvinism, that's exaggerated or aggressive patriotism. So it's our fault. Yeah, it's the Swedes' fault. The Swedes said they were willing to make cultural compromises and integrate with all the new ones. But in practice, new Swedes have had to change cultural identity and expression almost completely to enter society. And then they say this. This is the final part of the article. The world is here. Globalization will continue. Despite high nationalism, despite and because of climate change. Democracy must be recaptured in the globalizing world. The trials will only become victorious if we calmly and masterfully compromise and integrate. If we do not succeed, the tragic death shootings in the suburbs are just a taste of what comes. Alright, so these are the new ones. Yeah, I'm sure these guys, they have a good chance of being chairmen of the new Green Party. So, there it is. Bye.